weren't a big thing in the early 80s like they are now, so most games were basic and simple PC brand games with no save feature. Video games were mainly played on home computers such as the Commodore 64, with a big popularity in the USA in the early 80s, and the UK favourite, the ZX Spectrum. The ZX Spectrum was an 8-bit home computer released to the UK market on April 21st, 1982, aka 33 years ago. The system was an all-in-one keyboard which you plugged a TV and cassette player to. The keyboard's keys were made of rubber, making them difficult to get the hang of, and a simple loud noise near the device will cause it to reset. Video games were played off of cassettes of a special brand which took 5 to 10 minutes to load. The games were made just by programming on the ZX Spectrum itself, meaning practically anyone could do it. Today, in my first review, I will be kind of looking at a ZX Spectrum classic, Manic Miner. Manic Miner was a 1983 essential for gamers in the UK. It was first released on the ZX Spectrum by Matthew Smith and was then ported to other systems. The game was about a character known as Miner Willie, yeah I know, great name, who must be guided through 20 caverns filled with random monsters to gather the keys and escape through the random box. Manic Miner became a huge blockbuster and sold millions of copies. But we're not here to talk about the original Manic Miner, no. If you were paying any attention at the beginning, then you would know that we are reviewing the Windows remix of the game made in 1999. So, without further ado, let's dive into Manic Miner Windows version. Manic Miner doesn't really have a real story, so even though this is my first review, I have nothing to say here. The controls for Manic Miner can either be very basic or very complex. Several different buttons do several things. For example, some buttons make you move left, some make you move right, some make you jump, etc, etc. But I'm just going to tell you my way. Use the left arrow key to move left. Use the right arrow key to go right. Use the space bar or up arrow key to jump. Use the escape key to exit the game. Use the D key to pause the game. And use the H key to stop/start the music. As for gameplay, like I said earlier, you have to avoid random enemies, spiders and shrubs while collecting keys before you run out of air. You can also die by falling to your death, and depending on what mode you're playing, you will have 3 or 5 lives. When you die or quit the game, the player will be stuck on a pillar and a giant foot will come down and squash the helpless miner with the words "Game Over" appearing, like so. According to the average game requirements chart, graphics only make 25% of the game and sound quality only takes a measly 15%. That said, Manic Miner has a pleasing graphic style that doesn't really matter too much since you're too busy trying not to die. As for the music, the remix to the song In the Hall of the Mountain King is very nice, and so is the title music. Take a listen to the theme played through the stages. A very nice melody that really makes this game better than it already is. Manic Miner Windows version is a really fun game, but it is actually really frustrating. I've never finished it, and my dad has only beaten the original game once. But it's still a great title, and I recommend you download it. After all, it is free. It's a 9 out of 10. There are several flaws, but they don't really hurt the game.